All right, we're right into the action here, ladies and gentlemen. CeX 2-0, immediately taking the start, but that's nothing to really put too much on, Alex. We've seen them take 2-0 at the beginning of the last map, and they ended up losing that one. This time, looks to be a bit of a fight going on with Feebob, able to connect early on, or FSAN finding the kill, as the names are now adjusted on the HUD. Thank you to production for making our lives easier.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said Feebob too many times in that last map. So hopefully FSAN will let us off for that one. And Murky trying to come in from heaven. Oh, there we go. FSAN already doing the damage. Gets the first round on the board for Fierce. So CEX get the pistol round to go their way. They got a 2-0 lead from that. However, now into this round, they will still have enough money for a buy. We'll see if they get an AWP. I don't think they will. Yeah, it's just going to be the AKs into this one. A reasonable amount of utility to work with, but we'll see if they have these set smokes lined up. It looks like they do have at least something planned for outside.
Yeah, smokes get over the top. That is generally the standard strat you got on the T side of Nuke. Generally just want to throw the outside smokes, get that wall smokes up so you can fight down towards Secret. Immediately we see Nuke Dog already down in that position, immediately fighting there, but it's always fun to go to Nuke. It felt like forever ago we kind of discussed the possibility of Nuke being a third map, and we're here, Alex, we're on Nuke and we're getting the action.
Oh, there we go. Rezu opens up the round. Tries to get the second. A little bit too ambitious on the second time of asking, but the rest of the team have done more than enough. CEX doing all the damage in this round, and FSAN and Totem G have very little chance of doing anything at this point. It looks like CEX are going to be back in the driver's seat, and if Fierce save these two guns, maybe there's a chance they can get some sort of reasonable force buy together, but whatever happens, they're not going to be too happy.
Yeah, FSAN, Totem G, probably just going to save these weapons. Again, like you said, the whole goal is just to keep those into the next and give themselves the best possible chance moving forward in that one. But CEX finding a good start to the T side is really important. You know, you talked about earlier wanting to start on that T side. I feel like Nuke is kind of a different ball game. It definitely is more leaning towards the CT side because everything is just a little bit easier to get through. I feel like with the new changes, though, it's kind of given it a little bit more leeway for the T side. And G will find LS, and that's a nice pickup towards the end. But CeX finding 3 on their T side, immediately going to have the buy coming through very solidly. Fierce Esports, they're going to miss a couple of pieces, but they're going to get a buy through actually because one of the players had plenty of money built up. So the only player with other rifles is actually Hype. He seems to be a bit sad about that. Damage being done on the Swaggy.
Yeah, interesting start to the round. Hype.
Oh.
Trying to take the first fight there. Well, he didn't know much about it, but as soon as the door got blown up, he started to figure it out. Totem G gets 1 kill before falling, and that allows Hype to recover the AK. So not a bad 1-for-1 trade, allowing all of the team on the CT side to have the rifles. Interesting. Hype was thinking about flashing through there, but decides against it. And CEX take a slow style on this T side. Not going for those yard smokes on this occasion. However, they've got the players sneaking up towards outside. So FSAN is probably going to be the first point of contact if they push, but the timing might be off for him. I'm not sure if FSAN's going to spot them.
FSAN's going to spot the head of Nuke, that's for sure. Picking up the opening kill. CEX will take some of the control that they have towards outside. Murky able to pull it back into a 3 versus 3, but FSAN looking to try and follow up of the early kill he got a couple of seconds prior, and actually might be able to do this. He's dropped to the bottom of the ladder. Here's the player boosting up on top of him. Doesn't want to smash that window, can't risk it. That gives away the element of surprise, and then actually spot the player up towards heaven. But it's too late, Alex. He's already got onto the A site, and the pressure beginning to build as the bomb is planted for CEX. Swaggy coming in, great headshot from Murky. And it's really important he gets a good start onto this map.
FSAN with the quick flank in towards heaven. Oh, insta headshot from ZNX. And Emin might not even go for this one. In a 1v3, he's sticking around. He's still looking to see if there's any opportunity, but the answer is no. Murky shuts him out of it with a headshot, and a strong start for CEX is set to continue, especially as we head into round 6 with Fierce not really having the money to work with.
Yeah, Fierce Esports, there's a couple of pistols in play over on their side of things. Not exactly too much the right home will buy over on CeX. Full buy and play, ZNX with the Mac 10, so that allows for some fast-paced plays, just trying to get in and take the money. Murky, in fact, is the man to run aggressively and find the head of Hype. G-Heal drop, ZNX picking up one with the Mac 10, and the kills just keep raining through. Easy pickup, plenty of money, and all 5 stay alive.
It's not even going to be a great buy for Fierce. I mean, they're definitely not getting an AWP into this one.
It's, I don't know. I still would have. You're getting pummeled anyway, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. You could have swung it either way. You could have gone for a half buy, save as much money as possible in the next, or you could just go for the buy here and try and play it. I mean, it's definitely possible they can win this, obviously. And so they're going to see what they can get done immediately. CeX would love to continue the form that they've got.
Yeah, I think it still warrants a buy for the CT side. It's just unfortunate that they don't really get the utility alongside the rifles. And there goes Nuke Dog alongside Rezu, starting off this round right for CEX. They are looking dominant at the start of this one on their T side of Nuke, which is nice to see. FSAN gets the only kill of the round for Fierce up until this point. And they're going to need to find many more frags to have a chance at this round. And you can already see they've realized the chance of that happening is just too low. It's another save attempt for Fierce, except this time a save is unlikely to prompt any sort of considerable investment. Their money isn't really there.
Yeah, San and Emin have to really just get those over the edge, because CeX have started to build up a really nice start for themselves, really starting to grind out the lead, and could actually end up with a very dominant first half. You know, already on Nuke, I think Six is it's actually really good already, and the game has just begun. So picking up 6 on a T side of Nuke immediately off the bat with so much leeway to pick up even more. CeX have just got to be happy. They've come in looking very solid into this one, upset about losing cash. They would have loved to have picked that one up and ended the series 2-0. But coming into this last map, CeX really reining it in. But a pause will come through. And going to throw caution to win, and it's just sort of speculate this is going to be a tactical from Fierce.
We'll see. We'll see. Again, Fierce definitely on the back foot early on into this one. CeX haven't really gone for too many set plays either. Oftentimes their round wins have just kind of come off trading, which certainly is fine. Also, Adam, how long is it before we mention that CeX literally have a player called Nuke Dog? He's got Nuke in his name. It was all set up perfectly.
Yeah, this is true, Alex. It's all meant to be here on Nuke, but the biggest talking point for me personally is I've kind of banged on about Murky being a big player for CeX, and you know, he was vacant on cash, and that is a big reason as to why they lose. But here on Nuke, he's sitting on 10-1, Alex, and we're around number 8.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a really good performance coming out of the gate, and very scary for Fierce Esports if they are unable to contain him. And so let's see if they can get it done. CeX immediately coming in with a smoke setup again towards outside, trying to take a little bit of control here. The goal is to get towards the secret stairs. Swaggy picking up the headshot onto Murky. That gives the advantage on over to Fierce Esports off the back of the pistols. They could get a little bit more done in here as well. Swaggy has positioned himself back towards CT spawn, and there's a player on the opposite end of that wall.
And as you were saying, Murky was the one man really making the difference. So to find the instant headshot on towards him is the exact start that Fierce would have been hoping for. Now let's see if they can follow that up with some further favorable fights. Hype holding a close range angle. Doesn't look like the push is going to come in towards him. The rest of CeX pushing towards Yard, but one of those AKs already coming into play. FSAN gets a kill, and a second kill there, found in towards Hut. Nuke Dog finally finding something, but it seems like it's too little too late. ZNX needs to get the bomb back. Firstly, he needs to hunt down Swaggy, and an instant headshot is found. Again, good reactions for the first, but it's not going to be easy to take it from here. Even with the bomb, he's got 2 more to find.
I guess the biggest question there is, how the hell does Swaggy be such an impactful player after not really leaving his spawn? I mean, he just walks, what, a couple of meters away from spawn, he's able to find 2 kills. It really changed the face of this round. I mean, ZNX has to clutch now, he's coming up towards heaven. Hut spins with a quick kill, and it's 2 on the board for Fierce Esports. Really well done for FSAN and Swaggy, picking up those 2 kills between each other with the deagles, the pistols in play. Hype closing it out, and that will give the second on the board for Fierce. CeX won't be happy about losing that one, that's for sure. They've usually been pretty good at sort of winning the rounds they shoot.
Yeah, they've generally been on top, especially here on Nuke. Murky's got the AWP again. You can also see how dominant they've been in terms of the fact that they've still got a lot of money left behind after this round. Big gap in that smoke. Swaggy trying to utilize that. Misses the first shot. Goes for the refeast, and he's not going to be able to find it on that repeak. Toten gets one on the spray down, but the trade is instantly found. And again, it is into a 4 versus 4. Trading weapons there. Rezu decides to take the AWP, being low on health. And what do CeX do now? They've gained control of Yard, but they've got to gain some more ground.
Swaggy taking Murky, that's a great start. Hype able to pick up LS. Swaggy here in the upper part of heaven, trying to take the long range fight, but the kill will come through off the back of Resu. So on the ZNX. And Resu to make the big play against Hype, FSAN and Emmett. With 50 seconds left, CeX really poised to make a play. They have to go for it quickly. Resu looking for a frag. His teammate will fall. ZNX last alive. 1 versus 3, the bomb line right in front of these two CTs. Big double potential, but not the kills. As ZNX will find the headshot, Hype will reply instantly, giving 3 to Fierce Esports, and the money, you know, it's still there for CeX. Definitely no problems in the money department, but somewhat a problem in sort of the region of Murky. You know, I talked about Highlighter's performance. He hasn't found a kill since. Swaggy has really started to step up for Fierce Esports, which is a really scary factor.
Yeah, and that is the luxury CeX have, right? They can lose a couple of rounds and still have a bye, but they need to make sure they can get a few more round wins. That's obviously the overall aim. It's all well and good keeping money and keeping buys, but you have to be able to do something with those buys. And Toten nearly makes it a triple. ZNX survives on a slither of health, and CeX, having gained control of this position in towards Secret, have to try and find their way on towards a site with this position. And it doesn't look like it's going to be happening for them. Hype chimes in with another kill for the CT side. ZNX and LS have got a long road ahead of them if they want to pull this one back.
ZNX, LS to make the play. And currently, Fierce Esports having the massive advantage in terms of 2 men. Control of the site. I did say that 6 was enough already on this T side, so CeX should be living comfortably, but the problem with picking them up so early is that even if you end up with only 6 left to coming into the second half, you've kind of lost all confidence and momentum. You know, if you win those 6 in a row really early, yes, you get enough, but it's all about the mentality moving into the second half, and you've already got those rounds under your belt early enough, then it can be a bit of a problem when you've lost all momentum, all confidence. So Fierce Esports, they may peak just at the right time, as Hype and of course Rezu able to pick up the last kill, or FSAN able to pick up the last kill. So 6-4, CeX still leading by 2, but they might just lose that lead. The buy will come through again. The money starting to show cracks finally.
The AK is starting to come in. Looks like it's only going to be a half investment to show for this round. Don't really have the nades to work with either, so that suggests we could see a quicker push, or maybe a push in towards the A site or in towards ramp. Either of those are options. You definitely don't want to go towards yard though, because you could be up against that AWP, and without the nades, it's almost impossible to counter the sniper. San gets the opening kill in towards A. CeX continuing to try and force fights with their AKs. Didn't work for them on the first occasion, but it won't stop them from trying, as they look to find a way to open up this round.
Yeah, the advantage being extended upon by M, and Toten will be able to reply as the trade comes in from Murky. It's a double. And suddenly there's a chance here for CeX, even though they're still down a man, they could still find another kill as they charge into the B-bomb site. Someone has rotated already in here, so they're going to have to dispatch with him as they charge in, making very, very obvious that they're going here. The bomb plant will be starting to punch in the digits. Hype spamming through, just not unable to find the headshots, and he will be dropped by ZNX. They're suddenly into a 2 versus 2. Murky and ZNX, they just need the fast play. They just need to run into B, and they're making it work, making it look easy as they run all over the site. The Molotov, that'll force ZNX into the open. Murky trying to hide, but it's not to be. Swaggy and FSAN make the retake possible, and they make it look easy, to be honest, you know. Just throw the Molotov in the back lines, take that kill, look to the corner and find Murky. Nothing CeX could have done there, but Fierce will take 5. 1 round separates the two teams. Money again is not a problem thanks to the bomb plant and a couple of kills coming in. So it's still competitive here, even the round number 12.
Yeah, CeX making most of these rounds somewhat close, at least. But they really would like to get some more rounds on the board. Considering their start, this could have been an exceptional T side. Now it's starting to just turn into what is a fairly good T side as it stands. Murky, the man with the AWP, the man who has made the difference at the start of the game for CeX, but has slowed down since, is trying to find the opening fight of the round. It doesn't seem like it's going to come for him, though. As TotenG smokes off that angle of engagement. Again, CeX not pressuring towards Yard. Looking more in towards lobby, and Murky has just found the entry. A 1-for-1 trade, but ramp control gained. That gives CeX some more options.
Yeah, charging into B this time, it looks a little bit more tantalizing as they have 4 players already in here. No scope could have come in for Murky, but the trade is there. It's needed. Rezu really keeping this one within touching distance and needs to follow up. The double up setup is a factor. FSAN able to double up, Hype coming in. It's all on to Rezu, he's not able to get it done. And again, it's another round win for Fierce. So interesting they have the double ops on the T side and they decide to rush Rampant to B.
I mean, CeX there, they got onto the B site fine. The thing is, they're just taking too long to actually get that bomb planted and to try and remain in control of the position. They got the opening pick in towards ramp. I don't mind the decision to push in towards B, but doesn't work out for them just due to the fact that they seem to be a little bit slow on the actual pushes. And again, Murky forcing the opening fights, and they're going in his favor. This AWP is what's keeping them in most of these rounds. He's giving them the openings, and Murky makes it a second. TotenG eventually drops him, but the trade is found, and CeX seem to have found success thanks to Murky's AWP.
That's the thing that gives them the edge. That's the thing that can show up, and CeX need this round as well. They cannot afford to throw it away. FSAN and Emin will do everything in their power to make it so. They want to get the 7 on the board. They want to take the lead. What a comeback it has been for Fierce. You know, CeX starting this one off dominantly. Fierce have fought back. Resilience. Stoic performance, in fact. So Rezu just waiting. The kills to come in as the players don't really want to go for this retake, Alex. It's probably unlikely they win it. Their money isn't actually grown that much. FSAN, yeah, he's probably got the most. Well, actually, Swaggy has, but he's got a rebuy, so important that FSAN saves this. He will be the bank for his teammates that perhaps don't have as much. And Nuke Dog on the flank. This could get very messy for these CT players. They need to be careful.
Ooh, Emin sticking around there. I was going to say, should probably remain a bit safer than that. I guess CeX are also focused on their own money, so that means both teams are a little tentative towards the end, both kind of just wanting to save their guns for their respective sides. Into the last 2 rounds of this first half. And again, we've still got full buys for both teams, which I guess is a testament to how well they've been able to sort of manage their economy, especially on the CeX side in these recent rounds, because they've been losing quite a few of them, but they've been able to build up bank from the previous ones. Either way, here comes Emin up close and personal. The M4 only good for the 1 kill, and again, ramp control is gained.
Yeah, 4 versus 4 running back into the bomb site of CeX, just trying to barrel through. Swaggy with a missed shot, looking to follow up. That's a big kill on the LS. Nuke Dog able to drop him. And suddenly it's a 3 versus 3. Nuke Dog looking to create more space for CeX, but they've already got this bomb site. Totong finished off. Surely he would have got that kill. Hype will finish off ZNX, but the kills just keep running in, and it's Fierce Esports to answer back with a round win of their own. That is not good for the economy of CeX. They get the bomb plant, yes. They get the kills. But that is still not great for them. They will have enough to buy the last round of the half, and so money is no longer a problem. But CeX, that they would have loved that one, and they were so close to winning it as well.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few of these rounds come fairly close in the recent ones, and it just seems like Fierce always have the slight edge. Again, in that one there, CeX had the advantage. It looked like they were favorites to take the round, and yet Fierce managed to pull it back. A bit of a shame for CeX that so many of these rounds have been close, and yet so many of them have been so far. But they're going to have to improve on that aspect of their game. As the next uses some nades in towards the A site. FSAN takes control of Hut. Trades already coming through thick and fast. We're into a 3v2 as Murky looks for a mad wallbang. Not going to be able to find it. And again, it's an even numbers position into this 2v2. And Murky has his back turned. There's no one there because Fierce have decided to reposition. And surely CeX are about to get that bomb down.
Yeah, this is the deciding round, right? This is the one that takes the edge. Going into that second half, CeX with a great start into this one, only winning one since the great start. And so this would be a great time for them to step up, give him the edge, moving into the next. They got the bomb planted on B. Murky in the advanced position, not working as Swaggy finds the headshot. Starts off the retake well. LS, 6 kills on him, not being the greatest performance. Would love to get these last two to edge out this half, give his team that 1-round lead. Bomb will start to get tapped. That smoke towards the door. FSAN spraying through. That's the bait. He's going to pull the shots out. Spraying through. Having to get this done. Spraying LS. Just not hitting the shots. Just more to the right. Not to come through. Swaggy hits the headshot. And he hits FSAN down to 5 HP, Alex. That's just the most depressing way to lose that. He could have got that so easily. We could be looking at CeX leading by 1, but it's actually Fierce.
Man, one more bullet needed. 5 HP on that player. Could have just kept on spraying, maybe he would have got it, but he started to get distracted. He started to look away. And heading into the second half, CeX are going to need to remain fully focused on the task at hand, and that is getting back into this one. Again, they should still be fine, right? On their T side, getting 7 rounds is generally considered quite good. But with the start they had, they must be feeling, hey, we could have been way further ahead than this. And I'm sure they were thinking that to some extent. Murky and trying to smoke should be good.
Yeah, running outside. It's Fierce Esports going for a fast play towards outside, dropping down towards the stairs. ZNX doubling up. That's a great double kill coming through. Emin tries to pull it back here and has to, in fact, because this is going to be so difficult. It's all on the Emin, and somehow CeX have just ripped Fierce apart before they got anything done. They run towards outside, but ZNX has different ideas and will not allow them to go towards B. The headshots just come through, and Emin is inside of the vent room, taking that fight. That needed to be a kill. That needed to be a headshot. And so the kill will come in from Rezu, and that will be it to it. The scoreline evened out, and CeX win the pistol coming into the second half.
Yeah, all tied up. CeX trying to get back on track on this second half. After that first half kind of fell away from them, right? It kind of slipped away from them towards the end there. This is their opportunity to get back in the driver's seat, and it seems like they've done just that. A full eco for Fierce into round 17, and you can see Murky being very aware of that fact. He's fully saved in this round, making sure that he is okay. Mainly, he wants to be able to save for the AWP, right? So he's just not going to buy into this round, knowing his team should be able to carry him through. However, FSAN has opened up the round for the T side, so maybe it's not as easy as CeX anticipated.
Yeah, damage being done across the board. CeX, they need to be careful. They need to give this buy the respect that it requires, because Fierce have some really solid individuals on the pistols. Nuke Dog finding that kill on the Emin should confirm a little bit of a comfortability. But 1 HP on Hype, barely alive. Murky will hit the headshot with a USP. Very common strategy if you are the AWPer is to pick up that USP with no Kevlar. And the idea, with the Kevlar should I say, and the idea behind that is that you don't have to invest in a weapon, and you can just play it like a pistol round against the unarmored opponents with the new economy changes. So that's to get the extra money in, to get that AWP into play early into the gun rounds, and that's exactly what Murky would love to do here. But the problem is, CeX did not anticipate this to be as difficult as it is, and Fierce Esports having a 3 versus 4, definitely possible to do a little more damage. as they split into the B bomb site. No one here from the CTs really to cause problems just yet, so they might actually be allowed this bomb plant.
Yeah, this is a free plant. This is a lot of money in the bag. They will gladly take that. TotenG playing with the doors. Okay, he's having a good time. Oh, gets the dink. This is awkward. How is this happening? Murky only with the USP. He goes down, and then the upgrade is not what TotenG was hoping for. Only gets a USP as he picks up the weapon. And that means that CEX will be fine for the retake. They will find the defuse. But look at the buy that Fierce are going to have. They've got loads of money to work with. If anything, Fierce are maybe going to have a better buy here, apart from the fact that Murky has been able to afford an AWP on the CT side. And again, he is currently the top fragger on the server, so it's nice to see Murky have that AWP, and we'll see what he decides to do with it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this AWP on Nuke to see how dynamic he plays with it, because he is that type of AWPer. We've seen him with Inferno. He likes to pop up in different parts of the map, cause problems everywhere for Fierce. This time, he likes to go inside of A site and go for that opening peek towards the hut. He'll spot no one, and in fact, it's going to be a fast player to the B bomb site. Emin going to find the opening kill, but that's towards upper. Murky will rotate just in time to drop Swaggy to the bottom stairs. The Molotov will come in and force him to the lower door. TotenG will be able to connect onto ZNX, and this is starting to look scary for CEX. Man deficit and the control of the map is just not theirs at this point. LS on the prowl trying to find something, but not any information being picked up, and actually Fierce Esports are looking strong, especially Emin in this position. Somehow it's just gone unevaded.
Still sticking around there. The bomb is also taking a fair amount of time to do anything in this one. Fierce know they have the man lead, and they are somewhat spread apart from each other, so they're making sure they group up before they go for a push, and that's what we're about to see. Emin not expecting the close angle. The AK recovered. LS crosses. You should hear the players moving towards the bomb site, and LS gets the opportunity but doesn't quite convince us that he can get the kill. It's into a 2v2, and the bomb should be planted shortly.
Yeah, bomb planted. Murky coming in with a chance to pick up a double kill here. Molotov deploys towards the back of the site. Utility coming in. Flashbang over the top. Murky is completely blinded by it. Needs to wait for his teammate to come into the hut so they can work in tandem to try and get this bomb site back under their control. Nuke Dog is here looking to get his way through. The headshots need to run in, but they come in for Fierce. They win the clutch and give themselves 9, really pressing forward. Again, we're having a close map, Alex. It's hard to call this game.
Yeah, not an easy one to call either way. 9-9. This one could really go the distance. And what a way to close out the series it would be. And to close out the regular season of Prem, I guess. This is actually the last series, which is kind of crazy to think about. CEX again, this game starting to slip away from them. They had such a strong start in this one back in the first half. Now it's not so much the case. A 9-9 score where they are behind in terms of money, and Swaggy has already found the opening kill of this round. Not too difficult there with the AWP. He decides to take a slower approach after giving his team the advantage.
Swaggy playing towards outside F. Sam making his way through. Swaggy got to pull out the AWP just at the wrong time, but Murky, he will be collected still. And it's double figures for Fierce and the lead being collected. Looking very strong here on Nuke. The buy is coming through. It's the AWP on Swaggy. The rifles in play for the rest of Fierce Esports. This is looking very solid indeed. CEX, yes, they started the best of 3 off looking strong. I said coming into the best of 3 that I thought Fierce would actually have the edge overall in the best of 3. I started to flip my mind a little bit after the first map. But Fierce are definitely proving my initial prediction to be true here.
Oh, here we go. CEX switching things up. Emin gets a double before the trade is found on towards him. That's an AK into the hands of Nuke Dog, but it's outside control gained for Fierce. Little do they know, they could just walk onto the A site right now. Oh, the flank's still coming in. This is all action in this round. It's all about the frags. And here we go. Fierce going to push on towards the remaining CT. It was a bit of a weird round, this one. Just all about winning the fights. And it goes the way of Fierce, having taken 3 casualties.
Yeah, Fierce really starting to rein this in. This is where problems begin, though. In the past, we've seen CX, yes, they lose the pistols convincingly, but when they get the rifles out, that's when they cause problems. It's the AWP on Murky, the M4 is in play across the board for the rest of them. So this is, on paper, probably going to be a very competitive round, but we can't get too ahead of ourselves. Murky looking to take the initial peek. This time connects towards the door as Emin has dropped the follow-up from Murky. Really reining it in for CEX, trying to get them to double figures and keep them alive as he connects for the triple kill. Murky is absolutely nuts.
All right then. That's not a bad way to start the round. Murky makes it a triple. And Fierce have almost no chance at pulling this one back. Push is coming towards outside. ZNX could easily be isolated, and that's exactly what happens. Hype looks for a second, and Rezu is forced to fall back, knowing that he can't risk taking any further fights in case he were to lose it, because then the T's would be right back in this round. TotenG and Hype sneaking in towards Hell. However, they've given up their position. They've given away the fact that they are here, so CEX can play around that fact. Try and make sure they stay in some control of the situation, and you can see Nuke Dog's position is perfect to stop this. Easy kill in the back, leaving TotenG alone.
Yeah, Toten up against Fort, up against the wall. Coming in with the AK. Really needs to make the play here. Murky on the opposite end of this. AWP in hand, misses the shot, has to fall back. And they're beginning to pressure his position, and no success will be found for him. It's going to be 10-11. CEX beginning to really rein it in. Again, this game is starting to open up once more for either team. It's really hard to call. You know, as Fierce have success for 2 rounds in a row, you go, okay, Fierce looking good. Suddenly they crumble. CEX answer back with a couple of rounds. I think it's clear to see that these teams are pretty evenly matched, and it makes for a really exciting game.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to predict this one at this point. Both teams doing a pretty damn good job. Both teams having similar money, maybe a bit more for CEX. But that could definitely come into play at this point of the game. Every single round is really, really important once you get down towards the end of this one. Emin trying to spot an opponent. Is he going to check the boost? It seems unlikely. Nuke Dog is going to take damage, and Emin is able to clear the corner. Smoke goes in towards Hell, so he should stay safe. And Fierce have been able to force another man advantage.
Hype will be finished off by Resu. Murky able to get one as well. Looking really good for CEX currently. Fierce Esports have Swaggy, FSAN, and TotenG to try and make the difference here. They've only got a 1-man deficit, so it's not as hard as it may look. They could definitely find this trade. Resu, though, decides to go for the silence. So that's definitely a misclick. And really unfortunate as well, as the timing just does not work out. And the kill will come through from FSAN. Putting it into a 3 versus 3, even once again as they commit into the B bomb site. They will get the bomb planted and actually have pretty solid post plants, so they can play this retake.
Yeah, whenever you've got that window room, you're in reasonable shape. They deployed to the site. However, Murky has been dealt with in the meantime. Both these CTs fairly low on health. The smoke goes towards the bomb. That could be a concern. TotenG takes a ton of damage, but in comes the flank. And it should be FSAN to close out the round win. Fierce take a 12-10 scoreline. And again, CEX have a few players with money, but it's definitely not the entire team that could buy into this one. And we see a pause come through. Again, this is crunch time for both of these teams, so you can understand why they're going for pauses right now.
Yeah, the pressure definitely beginning to build. Again, just to remind anybody who is just tuning in, this is for a spot in the ESL UK Prem and Ireland Grand Finals, which will be played, well, the finals will be played in January, already confirming themselves. Spots are Endpoint, Stiffmeister, I believe Orglish just confirmed themselves a spot earlier today. And obviously Fierce Esports and CX battling for that spot desperately on map number 3. Only 4 away from Fierce Esports from taking this over the line, and CX need to find a way back into it, currently with money problems, Alex.
Yeah, they have a decision to make, that's for sure. I think they're probably better off saving, but at the same time, when you're 12-10 behind, when you're getting down to those crucial moments of the game, it's never nice to make that call to give up on a round. It is a tactical pause, so they are, sure, discussing all the possibilities right now. A lot to talk about a lot lying on these upcoming rounds.
This game has definitely surprised me in how close it has been. I feel like both teams have a pretty similar play style. I feel like they definitely have the two standout players, although most of them are doing an individual performance a lot on that second map. On this one, again, it was Swaggy picked up a couple of big runs as well early in the first half. Murky finding so much success in the AWP, playing very dynamically, going for opening picks inside of A main, falling back out, peeking towards middle, dropping inside of B. He's just everywhere, and that's so hard to deal with. But the problem is for CeX, they haven't really got enough money to get that all out in this round, so this should be Fierce taking 13. CeX looking to buy into the next, and there is plenty of money on Murky to get that buy through. So a silver lining at least lies there for CeX.
Yeah, a lot of cash for Murky. The rest of the team will also have enough money. That does mean that this round win is very unlikely, although maybe I've spoken too soon. 2 headshots found from the CTs. The pistols get off to a good start. Rezu even gets to upgrade to an AK. Nuke Dog is only here with the default pistol, so he's going to make sure he finds some sort of flank on towards Emin, who is close by. Emin sneaks forward. Is he going to clear the corner? It looks like he will. And in comes the insta headshot, making sure that Nuke Dog can't cause any more shenanigans with the pistols. As Fierce, again, whenever they're against these pistol buys, they seem to like to take things slowly. They don't want to make any mistakes. And there's that recovered AK dropped. Important kill found by Emin.
Yeah, this is definitely still looking favorsome for Fierce Esports, having the 3 AKs in play. LS just waiting on the opposite end of the door, hoping the door swings wide and someone walks right into the crosshair that he can take his head off his shoulders, but the door swings wide open. Yet to be a person though, as he's just waiting. There we go, shot comes through. LS will pick up the kill, looks to flick to the right. He wanted to grab the rifle, but Toten G comes in just at the wrong time. It's 2 on him and 2 on Emin. It's all on the Murky, the star of this team, to make the big play with the AK. They're both inside the back of the site, so he's got them trapped there for the time being. Sprays tries to turn it into a 1 versus 1. I'm afraid he needed to land that shot to make this doable. As the time is ticking, he's still got a kit, Alex, so there's still a chance here. Spots them jumping, should know they're both there at this point. Oh, he doesn't. Oh, this is a big problem. They're going to double peek him for sure here. They peek from both sides. Emin will be the man to collect the frag. Murky just unaware that they were both there. And it's 13-10. 3 away from Fierce Esports, confirming themselves a place at the finals, and CEX trying to fight back into this map. Up in play on Murky, and that could be the play, that could be the key back into this map.
And again, you just feel like the momentum is all against CEX right now. Remember, they had a really strong start here on Nuke at the early stages. They were up 6-1 at one point, so the fact that it's gone so horribly against them in terms of rounds, I think just goes to show that Fierce have been all over them. And at some point that does start to play in towards your mentality, in towards your mindset. Start to think maybe my opponents are always 1 step ahead. How am I going to be able to counter that? And as soon as you start to second guess yourself, that's when you're going to start to find problems. See Murky holding quite a passive position. Happy to do so with the AWP, and both teams seem fairly content with sitting back, except for Swag, trying to force some fights, and he loses out in that duel.
Yeah, dropping back into the lower bomb site is FSAN, but on the waiting end of this is Murky. AWP poised and ready on that angle. Time starting to tick low, just under a minute left, and they've decided to leave the secret stairs. I'm interested to see what the final play is. FSAN coming back towards this angle. Nuke Dog picks up the opening, hype, able to find the trade. Keeps it within a 4 versus 4 touching distance for Fierce Esports, but the time is getting low. They need to find a way into a bomb site quickly. LS denies access onto Swaggy, and it's all on the hype FSAN and Emin, and FSAN has to make this play. Murky has rotated off the angle, so FSAN has played it perfectly. The wait in time, Murky able to pick up a kill, misses the second shot, and hype and FSAN, that missed shot might just be enough to give Fierce 14 as the bomb is ticking away. LS runs back into the bomb site, but FSAN, he has the Molotov in play, he can throw it on the bomb. All they need to do is just run away. The Molotov on the bomb, they can't get the defuse in, there's no smoke to get rid of it. The kill comes in, and it's all on to LS. He gets the frag, but is there enough time for the defuse? There is plenty, Alex. And that's 11 on the board for CEX, and still fighting into this game. None of these teams want to give this up. They've been playing for hours, man. They just want to get this underway. They want to get to the finals, man. It would be so disappointing for either of these teams to lose today.
FSAN just kept fighting there. He didn't want to stop. He kept on going, and he nearly got the kills necessary. Not quite able to secure the clutch on that occasion. Probably would have been best served just deciding to take a bit more time there.
Look at this carry coming in from Fazan. I mean, he's 27 kills. Swaggy, who was playing pretty well throughout the first 2 maps, is at the bottom on 10 frags. You know, this is really top heavy from Fierce, and they've really got to thank FSAN for this huge performance.
Ooh. Not going to be having a huge performance in this round. He was the first to fall as the Pistols struggled to get all that much done. Trying to overwhelm the A-bomb site. Seems like 1 or 2 kills have been found. It's not going to lead to a massive amount in the grand scheme of things. Should be a... Ooh, okay, it's a buy for Fierce, but it's really not a great one. We're going to be missing some nades, I believe. Okay, we're missing a few nades. It's fine for Fierce, I guess. It's definitely doable for them. And considering CeX have pretty poor money, it's understandable to go for this, right? You just want to get this win here, and you've basically got the game under wraps. So this is a really important round, and to try and win it, Fierce are going to look towards outside.
Yeah, CeX, even after winning those, they've decided to keep the UMP on Nuke Dog. He could have definitely upgraded to the M4A4, and I feel like it's really important to do so in a round like this. So I guess leaving a lot of money in the bank, feeling confident into this one, could definitely take the rifles on. So running in, Hype looking to split with his teammates as they run on in. It's going to be the opening kill from Swaggy. The FAMAS trying to step up. The kill's just not coming in. Only Murky finding one, but the kills, they ran in for Fierce. They look to take 14. Nuke Dog with a UMP, unable to get anything done. And Resu is the last player alive, 1 versus 4. And this just, Alex, I don't see a way CeX can come back from this now. The money's gone. Fierce will be on 14. Should be map point. And CeX, they're going to be fighting out of this pit. This is so scary for them.
Resu just going to have to hold on to what little he has. I guess at least he's got a full set of nades, but these are small consolation prizes when you consider the overall context of the game. They're not only falling 2 rounds behind, they're falling 2 rounds behind at a crucial moment. And, oh dear, TotenG doesn't have his gun out. Gives his team some more information. Resu, oh no, he gets his smoke out.
Oh.
I'm not sure, like, even if you put the smoke up there, you're probably getting spammed through it. So I'm not sure that's the best bet. You might as well just keep your gun out. Instead, no gun is saved. And CeX got a bit of a decision to make, but it looks like that decision has started to be made. A couple of players forcing up. Nuke Dog gets the 1 M4, and this is it. CeX with a poor buy, but they've got to make it work.
Nuke Dog picking up the M4A4, you know, you could have had that in the last one when it would have mattered a little bit more. But this time it comes through, it's the Soul Rifle in play for CeX to prevent them from falling to map point, series point. As Fierce Esports look to try and round out the playoffs early. Nuke Dog will find the kill onto Emmett. It's into a man advantage for CeX. How much can they really hope to get off the back of this? That's a kill with a 5-7. TotenG will be able to trade back, and Swaggy looking towards the outside. FSAN here, who's been having a monstrous performance, is looking good for CeX. ZNX staying alive inside of the hut, able to pick up one on the Swaggy. It's on the FSAN. Yes, he's had a monstrous performance so far, but a 1 versus 3, that might just be diabolical.
Again, CeX just pull it off. They refuse to die. Unless FSAN can do anything about this one. Does a lot of damage onto the first player, but it gives away his position, and that allows ZNX to wide swing on towards him. This game just keeps on giving. And again, CeX just refused to die.
Yeah, they're such a stoic team. They just stay alive when needed. They pick up rounds when they really have no right in winning them. And we're in the round number 20. Overtime is a massive possibility here. Fierce going with a half buy. They're going to keep enough money in the reserves to get a buy into the next. The Pistols here are in play to try and keep themselves afloat, try and give themselves a chance to get 15. CeX, this is so important. They can no longer make mistakes. It has to be a flawless couple of rounds from them to take this. They could end up winning, Alex. They could end up winning this game.
definitely a possibility. Anything is possible at this point with how this game has unfolded. Shadow spotted. ZNX could definitely fall back if he doesn't feel safe, although he would also be vulnerable to the squeaky door, so he decides to stick around in towards the hut. Here's the steps of the player. Again, I think he may be able to spot out the shadow. It's quite close. Seems like the smokes have been deployed, so I don't think ZNX is going to be tested. Fierce elects to move elsewhere. They're going to push down Secret, see if they can find success here, and there's a trade. That should be an M4 recovered.
Yeah, there's the M4 picked up from FSAN. That's a scary player to have that M4 in the hands of if you're CEX. So you need to be careful, give this the respect that it requires. Don't get overzealous, don't get over aggressive. Like I said, has to be a flawless couple of rounds from CEX if they want to be able to win this or bring it to overtime. Fierce have that M4A4 in play. Looking to try and open up the B bomb site. They can't afford to just run in here because they haven't got that information. They want to try and play it as close as possible here. Nuke Dog and Murky have rotated down inside of the bomb site, so this is going to be really difficult for FSAN to get anything done. Opening kill on a Murky. The player down below is not in a position to be able to trade because it would give away his position. Nuke Dog drops both. That's the big play. Emin able to find LS, and it's into a 2 versus 2. Hype and Emin up against the 2 AK-47s left. No time to get the bomb plant, so it's all about staying alive for Fierce. They cannot afford to die after time. Emin, the last player alive. He dies after time. No money for him, and he's stuck on 2,600, and so this might be map point for CEX. What a comeback it has been, Alex. This is so incredible. Fierce have a decision to make. Do they want to play for overtime, or do they want to try and get this knot?
Here we are. It's the full spy. The nades are lacking. Not quite the full weaponry, but Fierce are going for it now. It's all or nothing, really. I mean, if they lose this, they'll have a chance to take us to overtime, but that's not what Fierce are hoping for. This buy is having the sole purpose of trying to win this round, of trying to give them the chance to win in regulation. We'll see if it works out for them. The first damage of the round is dealt by Fierce on towards Rezu. No further aggression being taken by the Fierce side of things. Again, they've generally taken a pretty damn slow approach, and they're not going to change that now.
This is, I'm even feeling pressure at this point. Fierce really want to get this map point. The problem is Emin dying after time. That leaves them only with a deagle. So you have to give the advantage to CEX. You have the open play of Murky that's been so impactful through this game so far, sitting on 26 kills. It's been the battle of the titans between him and FSAN, sitting at the top of their respective scoreboards. And with just under a minute left to play with, totenG takes initial damage. He's dropped to 48 HP. The play lurking away through the smokes, trying to get in towards the A bomb site. ZNX on the opposite end of it. Emin, surely this flash will give away his position. They're poised and ready. They need to get the kills. Initial kill comes in. It's for Fierce. Back and forth they go, but the kills keep coming in for the T side. It's on the Murky and Nuke Dog to try and make the difference for the CTs. It's not happening. Feeball picks up another kill. FSAN continuing this great performance. It's on to Murky. He's got to save this weapon. There's no chance for CEX in the next one if he does not have that ult, but in fact it won't happen. Emin will pick it up. It's map and series point for Fierce Esports. They may have just pulled it out of the bag right at the final nail, and it's CEX onto an eco. It's a force buy coming through, but it's essentially an eco because it's only the pistols, a couple of FAMAS. It's not going to look good.
Yeah, Fierce just decide to swarm the A-bomb site, attacking from all possible angles, and CEX were not ready to stop that from happening. And here we are. This is Fierce's chance to take it right here, right now. CEX's buy is subpar, as you pointed out. This is a golden opportunity for Fierce, and they would be remiss if they didn't take this one. But the first kill is for the CT side. totenG needs to make sure he doesn't give them another rifle. The AK has been recovered by Nuke Dog, and CEX will fall back, having happily gained a man lead.
Yeah, CEX so happy to pick that opening kill up. It's so important in the last round of this game. Of regulation time, at least. They want to pull this to overtime. Nuke Dog picking up a kill. It's looking likely we could be going to overtime. Kill coming in from Hype. He's going to reply back for Fierce Esports, but it's still a man advantage for CEX. They've still got that edge to work with. Murky has the FAMAS down towards the lower holes, towards the B bomb site. Still over a minute left to play with, so Fierce can slow the play down. They still have the utility. The pressure now building for both teams, I'm sure.
That AK that Nuke Dog had recovered is lost. 47 seconds, still a single rifle for CEX. Again, the time is ticking away. That will start to become a factor shortly. Fierce have kind of switched positions with the CT side right now. They've been able to move in towards Hell, but Murky finds a headshot, fairly long range. Hype and Toten G have to save the day for Fierce. If they want the win, they need to get it right here, right now, if they want it in regulation. And Toten G gets them off to a good start.
Yeah, bomb being planted up towards the A-bomb site. Murky has to rotate in the long way, but we missed it. Captain Incredible coming in with 2. That's Rezu saving the day with a triple kill. The 5-7 finding 2 kills. It's overtime. And CEX prevail again in round number 30. It's all the way. We've gone all the way, Alex. We've gone the distance. It's 15-15, and overtime will be coming up very, very shortly.
Well, I hope you guys are staying up past your bedtimes for this one. It's late at night, but it's all going to be worth it. I promise you. Into overtime. I mean, how can this game get any more intense, insane? I don't know even what to say anymore because it's just been so back and forth. It seems like as soon as one team gains control, they just lose it. They just slip away. We thought there that maybe Fierce could take it. We thought CEX could take it at some points, but we still don't know who's going to take it, Dinko.
Yeah, I feel like it was back and forth throughout the entire best of 3. Neither team really looking like 100% solid. I think it's been, you know, a volatile game where one team picks up a bit of momentum, it suddenly goes away to the opposite team, and they just go back and forth, and we're ready to get into round number 1 of overtime number 1. This is going to be so hype. Fierce Esports, you know, they started to lose control of that map point. It was pulled the overtime by CEX with nothing more than the pistols, but getting into this, money is no longer a problem. CEX will have to buy the AWP Murky to begin with. Over on Fierce, Swaggy with the AWP, FSAN continuing his monstrous performance coming into the first round of overtime number 1.
And as these overtimes go on, it's going to become increasingly more difficult to come up with anything fresh, come up with any new ideas. At this point, you've probably exhausted almost all of your playbook. So unless you can come up with something miraculous on the fly, unless you can come up with new ideas right now, then you're probably stuck with whatever strategies you've already used. And that's something that can definitely come into play. Again, remember, a lot of the rounds on Fierce's T side have kind of just come from Swaggy finding some opening picks with the AWP. That's not necessarily going to be something that comes into this round, as Swaggy is unable to find any sort of opening. CEX holding pretty far back just to make sure that they aren't under threat of this AWP. And Fierce, again, they always seem to play very slow on their T side. Maybe a bit predictable from them, but with 40 seconds, they start to move forwards.
Yeah, even though they're playing it slow, CEX still use all of the utility early, which is a little bit strange. You know, you don't have to hold them off. They're going to play slow anyway. You want to save that up until the final attack, where they usually congregate towards one area of the map and just commit in. Having utility in that position would be so much more helpful. ZNX is going to find the opening kill. It's going to be Rezu picking up one as well. LS coming in. Hype and Swaggy need to make it, pull it back. And Fierce, there's only 15 seconds left. They have to go for the commit, but the bomb is dropped. It's all on Swaggy. And it's going to be CEX picking up the lead here. First round of overtime goes their way.
Nothing Swaggy can do. It is CEX to take the slight advantage, and oh, Swaggy ends up dying after time. It doesn't matter all that much. They've got 16k starting money here in overtime, so it's not really too big a deal. Swaggy's even going to buy another AWP, knowing he's that confident his teammates will have him if he ends up dying in this round as well. Over on the CT side, Rezu has picked up the AUG, interestingly enough. Definitely a gun that can be utilized on this map, so certainly understandable. I
feel like this is one of the maps that the AUG is actually most viable on, because you've got so many different little angles. I think Train as well is a very good map for the AUG because of the sort of tight vertical angles you can play it with. So yeah, I like seeing the AUG in play. It's a really nice weapon, very versatile in sort of all these different situations. Although this outside smoke execute coming in from Fierce Esports, dropping inside of Secret Stairs. And we'll try and commit into the B bomb site, and they've actually got a presence towards the ramp, so this becomes very, very scary for CEX because they haven't really got too much info yet. Opening kill. Oh my goodness, Toten killing himself. I believe he fell off the top of the boost. Emin able to find another kill to follow up. At least gets the kill in. The HUD is a little bit broken, so we have 2 Emins, but I believe it's a 4 versus 4. Kill comes in from Nuke Dog. That will give the edge. It's a 4 versus 3 now with CeX having the advantage into this one. Pulled back again from FSAN, who's just been a beast throughout the series so far and wants to continue to do so. The smoke deploys inside of the A bomb site. LS ready to strike. Takes the bomb down. That's Swaggy falling. It's all the hype and FSAN to make this work for Fierce. Murky still alive with the AWP, along with LS and Nuke Dog, who've been performing very well in this game so far. And with 30 seconds left, this is just becoming increasingly more impossible. FSAN just waiting for the perfect time to strike in tandem with his teammate towards heaven. A player inside of the vent. Nuke Dog doesn't care. He'll pick up the double. It's a triple for Nuke Dog, and 17-15. We're 2 away from CeX sealing the deal and sending themselves to the finals of ESL UK Premiership and Ireland.
Maybe it's time for Fierce to go for a faster play at this point. The slow play is not really working. CeX able to stop them on the A site once more. Let's see if Fierce do decide to switch it up, because their slow plays have also been somewhat predictable, right?
Yeah.
Even when CeX haven't had the utility to stop them, they've been able to prepare themselves for the fights. Makes it a little bit easier, and this time, Fierce are going to go for a bit of a quicker push in towards outside, making their way down secrets, and they may even push towards the site.
Yeah, this is much faster from Fierce, just trying to get into the bomb site immediately, but Murky says no to the first, looking for the follow-up, not hitting the shot, should I say. Swaggy and Emin picking up a triple between the two players. Emin doubling up and Swaggy finding one. It's all on a ZNX and Nuke Dog, and finally the change in pace from Fierce Esports is just so impactful. Emin finding 3 kills towards A, while the rest of his teammates hurry into the B bomb site, and Emin will collect the quad kill, give Fierce their first of overtime, and we move into the second half. CeX still need to find 2, and Fierce need a flawless half here.
If only Fierce had gone for a few plays like that sooner.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like when you get into Inferno, you need to change the pace up. You need to play a little bit more differently than regulation time, because it's just a different ball game, right?
Yeah, I mean, even back in regulation, it might have been nice, because they've just been slow in almost every round. They'd really made it obvious as to what they were going to do in most of the rounds. So just to kind of keep your opponents guessing a little bit, to make it a bit more unpredictable as to what you're going to do on your T side, that would be nice. But at least it starts to come through in overtime. I guess better late than never. And we're going to see 2 AWPs on the CT side. Certainly something you can go for in overtime. You've got a lot of money to burn, and they decide to spend it on these 2 snipers.
Yeah, certainly viable on Nuke, right, as well. You know, you have so many different angles you can play with the AWP. One a lot more passive, the other actively trying to find that opening.
Yeah, Emin holding in towards ramp with his AWP, while Swaggy moves elsewhere.
I feel like any player, like I touched on it earlier, but I feel like any player can just pick up this AWP and sort of wield it to hold an angle like this. So it's really viable to have that double AWP setup in play. We have Swaggy as the more capable AWPer. You put Emin on the AWP, I'm sure he's okay at holding one angle. And you can see coming in perfectly, Swaggy picking up the opening, Emin able to find the follow-up. It's looking so good for Fierce in this one. Looking to try and equalize that scoreline once again. And definitely a possibility for double overtime here as they just continue the fight. ZNX will pick up the headshot on the Totem G. FSAN pulling 1 through LS, able to pick up 1 on the hype. And again, it's an advantage for the CTs. FSAN, he'll kick himself if this comes back to bite him, not picking up that frag.
At least he took ZNX down low on health. Rotate starting to come up through heaven. CeX still kind of holding from the bomb site. They haven't really been able to get into great positions. ZNX is in mini, I guess, and LS tries to fight. It's not going to work, and ZNX is likely going to be doomed. He has to find 3 players. It feels almost impossible at this point, and there we go. Emin pushes in with the AWP. Fierce tie up the scoreline, and how many times have we said that throughout this game? Another tied scoreline, and these last 2 rounds could decide the game, or they could decide whether we're going to another overtime.
Yeah, what a way to end the day, right? You know, you see that first best of 3, it goes 2-0 fashion. We come into this one, first map picked up by CeX pretty convincingly. We're like, okay, we're probably going to get another pretty one-sided game. We move into Inferno, I believe, and there was a little bit of a cash, I believe. It was a little bit of a different story. And obviously Fierce able to edge that one out, and now we're on Nuke. Deciding map, overtime. Pressure beginning to build for one of these teams. Only 2 more to be fine for either of them, and 2 rounds to be played. If they split, we go to overtime number 2. Coming in towards B. Swaggy is rotated towards the stairs, but looking towards the vent. It's the wrong angle. He's dropped by Nuke Dog. That's a huge opening for CEX as they storm into the bomb site. Murky cuts off rotations. It's F-Stand to drop a second coming in, perhaps, but not. As Totung G will land the headshot quickly, and Emin finds the follow-up. It's into a 3 versus 3, even once again in player count, and the score is even as well. One of these teams will take the edge here, though, and the bomb has been planted for CEX, just trying to play, take it over the line. They've still got utility here to try and hold off this retake. Emin and Hype, they're close to this garage door, and there's a player on the opposite end of it. If they can make this work here, if they see Tees can pick up these headshots, then it's over. Fierce Esports are going to crumble as Nuke's able to find the opening. The second comes in, Toten G stands up, but LS will find the final kill. It's 18-17, and CEX now with the tournament point, well, the series point.
CEX's super fast play towards Yard works out for them. If anything, I feel like that they could have even got some better trades there into that one. That was kind of close in the end there. It goes into a 3-on-3, but I feel like they could have easily won those trades earlier on. And here we go. Swaggy's got the AWP, Murky's got one of his own, and CEX have one player going back towards Yard, but Murky finds the opening with that AWP.
Yeah, Murky grabbing that opening kill. That's a great start for CEX into possibly the last round of this game. CEX really want to take this 19-17. Another kill coming in. It's Rezu to find it. Swaggy, F-Zan, and Emin. They've been performing very, very valiantly. Especially F-Zan finding the big performances, but Murky eliminating Swaggy. It looks like CEX are going to be the team to take it over the line here to get themselves a spot at the finals. Emin and F-San, the last two players standing between them and victory as CEX look to just try and strike. They're going to come in from the heaven position in towards A, but they could go back towards B. Plenty of options here, but it seems they want to commit in towards the A site. Molotovs come in, they clear every angle, ready to attack. The bomb will be planted safely on the spot. The Molotov will confirm that Vents is now clear as well. F-San picks one up, trying to attempt the retake. But at this point, it's over. LS picking up a headshot, comes in with the double, and CEX book their spot at the UK and Ireland Premiership finals in January. But what a performance from Fierce, a valiant effort, a stoic one at that.
Yes, CEX, they take it over the line again. How close can you get, though? Literally 2 rounds in it, into overtime. That last map was just insane. It got to a point where you could almost barely remember what happened back in the first half. It felt like it was so long ago.
Yeah, it feels like we started this day yesterday, which in fact we did. It's after midnight, so yeah, this has been such a great performance from both teams. Really exciting Counter-Strike towards the end of the day. I feel like going to overtime was probably the best way to finish that type of game. You know, if you have a close best of 3, going to overtime with a third map decider is always the best way to finish it out.
Yeah, definitely. It goes to show how close these two teams were. Very little to separate these two teams towards the end. I mean, CEX took it over the line, but if you just had some slightly different individual performances, that could have gone very differently. It was all about those tight rounds towards the end there. And again, credit to Fierce that they really took it close. On another day, they easily could have won this.
Yeah, Fierce definitely could have. I mean, they had map point, what, a couple of times. They had series point a couple of times. This could have been Fierce Esports as one, but CEX, they just keep going with the pistols. When all odds are against them, they make it work when they essentially have no right to win them. The pistols coming through, massive performances from Murky on that AWP, finding so many great openings. Although, commiserations to Fierce. I mean, F-San had a masterful performance here. I believe he was still the top fragger on Nuke towards the end of that one, finishing on like 36 kills or something nutty like that. So yeah, it's such a sad way to lose if you're Fierce, you know, bringing it all the way to the final map of a best of 3 and getting the overtime and just not being able to edge it on at the end.
Yeah, I think the one thing that clearly costed Fierce again was the slow T sides, right? They can go for that a fair amount, but once it stops working, it's worth just switching it up at some point. That you really need to understand that. And that kind of comes with experience, making that call in the middle of the game. I'm sure they had practiced those slow rounds, and they probably had worked in practice, but at some point you have to realize in the flow of the game, hey, they figured this out, we need to do something different, and it just took them a little too long to figure that out. It was only in overtime when they finally switched it up.
Yeah.